So welcome to episode 27 of No Shame. Last week we had the Goose on. I think some people they think the Goose is going to be the next presenter with us. I think, Robin,
a recurring character.
Man, a recurring character. That's the one. That's the word I'm looking for.
He could be the Joey Diaz of.
I think he
No
might
Shame.
be. Yeah, but the amount of messages that I got. If you haven't seen this episode last week, make sure you watched the fucking episode before you text me and say he looks like your dad. Because I got about 20 messages of that, and then it's like, oh yeah, and then I just seen the story, because that's what the story was about when I posted it last week. And anyway, I have two guys here today, absolute legends in their community as well. The Goose being last week's community guiding light. We've got a north side guiding light over here now. Not as bright as a south side guiding light. But
Getting there.
No, but they're getting there. But I've got Pat and John Sheridan over here today.
Thanks very much for having us on, yeah.
Absolute pleasure to have you in. So the two brothers, if you don't know them, if you're not from Ireland, you probably won't know the lads from anything. But the lads are jiu-jitsu legends. I've been training since jiu-jitsu went onto the island of Ireland back in the Viking times when it landed. They've been training jiu-jitsu. I know I've been rolling with John for many years, back to the long mile days.
Yeah.
Remember me and you trying to savage each other 50-50 for about 10 minutes. My ankles are still shaved. You know what I mean? And then I ended up meeting Pat through yourself. That's how. Did you got Pat into the game? Did you?
No, it was actually.
Did you put Pat on the game?
No.
That's the truth.
He put me on the game. He did. He forced. Well, the original game, the karate game, John put me on the karate game, so that's where I would have started. So yeah.
But the MMA game and then into jiu-jitsu, it was Pat. Like, I was done karate for years and years, got a black belt in that, and once I got into that office life, it just went downhill. I had a few injuries and stuff, and Pat was like, "Oh man, you're getting fat. You're getting fat."
Not like a little brother to tell you that.
And he was living with his girlfriend, who's still his girl, actually getting married in the next month, but they were living beside the house, and I would have been playing basketball and stuff at the time, and I'd just be seeing them. Well, I was, and then I broke my ankle playing basketball after, because we were doing karate.
Such a dangerous sport, isn't it?
Dangerous sport. It actually is.
Oh, dangerous, yeah, man. Anyone gets injured in my club and they'd be like, "How'd you get injured?" Like,
or the Astro.
I was playing football. You know what I mean?
Astro.
Or the Astro, yeah. Astro's violent, man. They put you in a cage, they do, and then they make you kick a ball around.
And go hard at it.
And if you don't get that, like, I remember seeing a guy's jaw getting broken in the Astro, and I mean his jaw was like, he couldn't close his mouth, and I'm just down nothing. And he's an animal, he is. He looks like Ryan Giggs and all he does. David Murray, if you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about.
All the way through, but yeah, I was seeing John around. And he come up to the house and stuff. And then I was like, after I came back from the injury from the basketball, I started going back down to kickboxer. I was like, I want to go back karate or kickboxer. MMA was just getting in. Do you remember the Coke Road gym is still there?
Yeah.
But it was booming. Like, there was like 100 lads in there training, whatever. And I ended up training in there in Ballybock. It was crazy, like in the shed. And I'd be talking to John and saying, what's this or the other, and
you were delivering me the takeaways as well.
Delivering takeaways. It was delivering takeaway Friday, Saturday.
You were? Yeah, we used to do that as well.
Man, the curry run, man.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, serious dollars, isn't that?
Serious dollar, man.
Yeah, I was in school, I was doing that.
Same as me, man.
But you had to be able to fucking fight on that round.
Yeah.
That was it. I used to do it in like around Jobstown, FedEx.
Now I'm paying.
No, we had pockets full of money and they knew it. That's the thing, you know what I mean?
Serious, yeah.
Yeah, but if you want, like, we really had to pay our money back at the end. Like, you probably had to when you go to the. So if you over here we do Chinese deliveries where we're like the pizza guy, if you must come to the door, but we get money for it with the pizza guy. Either get a tip or you don't. That's a great game.
Serious, yeah.
I was coming out with 150 a night. I was doing that, and I was doing it like 3 times a night, 3 times a week, and I was in school. I was making more money then than I have now, man.
Making more than some of the teachers, man.
You know what I mean? I couldn't even spell TAX then. You know what I mean?
Oh man, the curry days, yeah.
The curry days.
Serious.
Free meal at the end of the night as well.
Do you giving it to John? You got to start that. Yeah, no. I was shaving that off the top.
Shaving that off the top. He was selling that free meal.
Yeah, man. You do a full night and you get a starter and a free meal, you know? You get
a starter and a free meal?
If you've done the 5 to...
Do you know what, man? I've dealt with some scabby cunts in that game as well.
Stop, man.
Scabby bastards wanted us to... Do you know what? One time, one of the guy that had us wanted us to split a meal. So drivers had to split a meal. And then, you know, or you had to give a $5 supplement with your meal if there was meat involved.
Yeah. He's covering his own back. Good businessman.
Good businessman.
Enough for the delivery drivers eating them out.
Well, English is different. Look, you guys are businessmen. I think I am now, right? A little bit.
More of a businessman.
They're probably saying that. I'm still catching them marbles, Paddy. Yeah, because it is a juggle. It is a juggle. But businessmen, there is businessmen, and then there's There's like
Cowboys.
just tight motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Now we do understand like the boys downstairs, the water. You say, have a bottle of water there, boys. You come back in, there's 7 empty bottles of water. It's like that's about €7. You know, so you have to watch that
balance
stuff.
when there's a good balance.
It's a good balance. But the chipper life, man. Just so you know, me and you know the same things then about life.
Yeah.
That's an experience, that is.
Man. It is, it's an
So
experience.
the chipper, sorry, I'll cut you off in the middle of the story again.
I don't know where it would have came from, but I got John down to the.
I was fat, man, and you were saying, "Come down, train, and there's this grappling stuff. You'll love it." And I was like, "No, man."
Right. John was always sure, you know what I mean?
I was like,
anyway.
I can hit you so hard once,
And you're
that's
gone.
the end of it.
So you were like, you had that. I already had this conversation yesterday with
some.
some.
4 or something, man. I was like ninja. I was like, you will not last one of these pucks, man.
Do you remember?
No
Crack
way.
your fucking cranium, man.
Yeah, literally crack your cranium. But, like, some of the training, like John still has a bit of a bogey elbow. Cause what did you and Mikey used to do there on the park with the rubber band? You face that way.
You know,
he'd
the
face that
fucking
way. Like,
resistance bands just
and
punch
they're punching at the same time, you know what I mean? Drilling the punch, you know, with the resistance band off each other. This sort of
Stupid
stuff.
stuff. I blew his elbows so many times. I couldn't extend it past that for over a year.
No.
When I went down,
Because
so
it was
when
on
I
the resistance band, like swinging against each other.
So
like.
when I eventually made it,
Blowing each other's elbows out.
Yeah, man.
So
That's how it was. When I actually ended up sparring with Pat, like he had the reach advantage on me, and that was my jab. I got that.
But he always gets me back now, and it's malicious now in jiu-jitsu, and I just can see me jabbing him and him being like, I can't straighten my arm, stop it. Popping, but
A little sawn off jab there.
Yeah.
When we were doing the karate as well, you weren't allowed to do leg kicks or kick to, you know, the back. So when he jabbed me into the corner, that's what he let loose with, the leg kicks and the body kicks, and I wasn't used to or conditioned for them.
I bet you he got karate eyes when this happened, right? You kicked him in the leg, he's like, wow!
Yeah.
Because that's the experience that everybody has with a leg kick, isn't
Brilliant
it?
days, though.
If you get kicked in the leg, who knew a kick in the fucking leg could change your life? Could change your life.
And around the knees, man, you get the knees built off. Never mind heel hooks and all. Take a few kicks to the knees, man.
I'll tell you. I remember
there.
Chris Fields leg kicked me one time, right? Because you had to spar whoever you had, and we did a cartwheel, boys. Sideways, like he kicked me on that side, and I went like heels up, head down, and landed back full circle, like.
And he'd have the big shin pad on, just
He's
the big.
broke people's legs with those kicks, hasn't he? It broke their fucking.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure if we got an X-ray and my leg broke that day, and I just walked her off.
Yeah, he can chop. He
Like
can
you
chop
do.
the leg
We're
kicks
going
in.
back to the karate thing, right? Because I was having a conversation with one of the guys yesterday, and he just got his blue belt, right? But he's been doing like stick fighting and stuff like that for like 16 years.
John, would you?
Like,
In the back garden and all with the finish up.
yeah, pool cue.
No.
It's fucking true, man.
Yeah, well,
With the ball.
Boast that.
so did you? So you must have got a mad awakening when jiu-jitsu came into your life then.
Man.
But I was talking about knives with him yesterday, and he was like, "This is what he said to me, right?" He was like, "I was in a triangle with a lad, Paddy, right? And you have to do like these kind of like grappling scenarios and all, and like this is how you get graded with your belts." And he's like, "But you're allowed. It's Filipino something. Am I right? What it's called?
Yeah.
It's a Filipino martial art,
Yeah,
and it's because everyone's so small in the Philippines. And things when the Japanese came or something, they was
designed
using
for them.
machetes or something. So like there was one time he said that the guy was sparring, and he heard a guy with a stick in the head, and your man said, "You can't do that. You have to have 2 hands." Right?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Is that truth?
Yeah, there's loads of little things like that, like, yeah.
Like, and he
like-
said to me, he's like, so it took me 16 years. He was like, man, I grew up in fucking the hard streets of Jobstown. I was swinging holes at motherfuckers like that, single-handed, backhandedly.
Whatever way.
Whatever way. I'll show you some shit. I didn't know that was a martial art. Give me that. I was like, give me that timetable over here. We've got more stuff that's going on to that.
True, like, yeah, it's almost the same. Similar disciplines, just one has a name and the other one
Man,
doesn't, like.
if you have a stick, you should be winning.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Definitely.
And he's like, no, it's not a stick. It only simulates a stick. It's actually a machete, Paddy. I'm like, a fucking machete. I was like, take your hand off that handle, son.
right.
You know what I mean? One handed on that machete. You know what I mean? You don't want to kill the man. You only want to maim him.
It's like the Japanese jiu-jitsu or the traditional, like, and they'd be doing some techniques where you'd get hit and you'd fall away and roll away, but when you're standing back up, you're producing the sword. You know what I mean? That stuff's good stuff.
yeah.
Like,
But this is what he said.
Now add this.
He had a triangle in this martial art. You're allowed to have a knife as long as it's concealed. Right? I know, it's mad, eh? And he said, I had him in a triangle, he said.
And
Right?
pull the shank.
And I know, and your man's like, well, what are you going to do? He said, and then I had a knife in my sock. And I stuck it out. So I'm like, see, I had him in a triangle and then you're going to stab him in the face. I was like, fuck, maybe I am going to try that out.
Did he pull it out? Like?
He said, yeah, in his he pulled the knife out.
Oh, to his neck. Looks
Paul
like
Sound, now, when I first met him, I knew he was like a traditional martial arts, bit of a weirdo, like, you know what I mean? And like, even guys like that, I can't drag them out from that side. I try my best. I see them post good shit about grappling and all.
But they'll always have the little quick arm locks.
They just won't leave. It's like, I could have stopped your life, Paddy. And it's like, how? It's like, because I got a gun. I'm like, but you know what? I kind of agree with you now.
That's savage.
That's
a new angle on it. I wonder, has anyone ever rolled in like our place and had a knife on them or something, like someone from a traditional background? You didn't know, just in case. You know what I mean?
Now, after this podcast, watch what's going to happen. You're going to be in a triangle next week, and you're going to have
flashbacks.
a Rocky or a Rambo knife stuck in your forehead. That's what's going to happen.
Some people's toenails and nails, and you have to rip them off the mats for that. Like, so.
As a coach, that's something that you're fucking like. You know, that's I've no tolerance for that, man.
When you walk by and you get the smell of yesterday's ghee, you never get that one.
Stop. And yeah, I used to train with a guy, right? And anybody that trained with me back in the day, I remember this guy. I won't use any names, right? I don't even know his fucking name, to be honest. I don't know most people's names. But anyway, he was like 7 feet tall, boys. He had a yellow gi, but it was actually white. Right? He had them toenails that were like yellow and bulletproof. You know what I mean? That if he kicked the wall would fall. So you get what I'm saying? He had long red hair, boys. Long red hair, right? And the experience of learning jiu-jitsu with this guy was awful, because sometimes you'd be in mount and his hair would be over on your face, alright? And not only that, in between the sweat, in the thing, there'd be drips of sweat falling into your mouth. You know what I mean? I remember I made that's the face I'd be making on bottom. This is absolutely
you have to take it.
Horrendous. Yeah, you just gotta take it. We ain't tapping from sweat in the hair like no little bitch. Do you know what I mean? But the red hair, boys, he used to be like, I'd be going home coughing up caca balls. I would be. But this long hair scarred me life, man. You know what I mean? I hope he never knocks on my door one day. You know what I mean? Hi Paddy, I'm back. No, that would scare me. So you were the karate dude.
Yeah, man, I was the karate dude, and as you said, I had a bit of an awakening when we started. But how I ended up in it was Pat was saying that like.
You got fucked up,
and I was like, "There's no way you'd be able to do that to me." Like, and he said, "All right, let's doing a bit of a clinch on me." He's like, "All right, let's just have a bit of."
This is two brothers having a conversation. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, but this I would have been.
This is in the hall. It was
in the hall, and you
heading out the door. You know what I mean? I was like, "You have to check it."
Toy plum, snap down. I'd never been toy plum before. Whoom down. Anaconda choke.
A toy plum as well, by the way, is when you grab someone's head and lift them down. Because there's some women that watch this are about 60 years of age, and they'd be like, a toy plum? Oh, sounds sexual.
A toy plum?
Yeah, a toy plum. Never try one of them.
If you've never been in one of them, like, you don't know what the fuck's happening. You don't realise how much.
Pinch those elbows and whip.
Yeah, especially it's a guy named Mick Doyle, the Indian fella, you know, like if you're up the top of the head, you can't get it. When someone grabs you, knows how to do that. Fuck.
I
was down and the kind of choke, didn't know what the fuck was happening. I didn't even know how to tap. Like, I'd never grappled. Like, what the fuck is happening?
I was gargling.
Do you know when back you whacked the anaconda, you just rolled whichever way it felt to you. You weren't sure, you know what I mean? So you roll a bit left and then like, that's not great.
Yeah, go the other way.
Because I throw the legs up over right there, that's twice.
I think I still didn't believe then, and we had to go again, wasn't it? And same thing.
I was about to say that. What was the second one like?
Exact same thing happened again. I was like, alright, well, if you can do the exact same thing again, alright, we're on to something. So I went down training, then just got battered by him. But I really liked the grappling part of it, and then
got pure hooked on it.
The grappling.
How long was it then till you walked?
So you're the younger brother, yeah?
Yeah.
4 years.
And you dragged you. I thought it was the other way around, actually.
Man,
always scrapping. And John just got.
So your whole life was changing your hallway, is that what I said?
Yeah, pretty much like.
I'd love to hear, like, I'd love to see thought bubbles over your head when you're walking down the road after that, you know what I mean? Like, sensei not right. You know what I mean? Sensei wrong. You know what I mean? Standing on a bus stop. That's what I'd say he was like.
It was a bit disheartening, because it always stands out in my mind. I had there was loads of lads who lived in the estate, and there was one English lad that lived in the estate, and he actually lives back in England now. But I remember we used to have karate techniques, and there was one where a lad got you in a bear hug behind, you know, and you drop, broke horse stance, elbow to the torso, hammer shot to the groin, elbow to the
To the chin, yeah.
spin around, and that was gold. You know what I mean? And I remember, and I wasn't hitting them hard doing it. I remember he was holding them, and I couldn't break him for dear life. There was people watching down. I was like, it does work. You know, I do it Tuesday, Thursday, man.
Yeah,
it fucking works.
Come watch me at 6 to 7. I'm an animal.
Yeah. Oh,
there is a certain amount of it that does work. I think it's the training methods and all. You have to train with the aliveness or whatever you want to call it.
Aliveness.
But I actually used that exact same technique once, and it did work. Someone grabbed me from behind, and I popped it with the arms fast enough, got the turn on him before he fucking had me. Like.
And see that in karate wise, I think that's kind of like gambling your first time. If it works the first time, it's probably the worst thing that can happen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're like,
you'd be floating next. Like,
oh, that's it, and you're chasing it. Does work.
Yeah,
and you become this. Then you find a group of people that are screaming, "It does work!" And you just join them.
Yeah, and not to be knocking the old school martial arts. There's so much benefits. You know what I mean? Discipline, structure, like your reactions.
What Irish kid didn't go and do karate and didn't know? But I have to say,
the Clonsilla Karate Club is thriving. Like there's loads of kids coming in.
Oh, we see it flying. No, and there is, and it is great for kids. Not knocking out like that, but I'm saying when it does come to when it comes to self-defense, and it comes to a nightclub job, it comes to fighting, I'd be saying that MMA and Jiu-Jitsu is the best. And there is, there's a great story from most people that do change over, that they actually get the realisation and they wake up, you know what I mean? The people that don't are probably the people that you could find 100 times in their life that someone presented them with better evidence, better truth, and they refused and they fought with that person and they went the other way.
Definitely, because you're so invested in it. Like I'd done about 16 years of karate by that stage, by the time that happened. So it would be so easy to go, whatever, like, and just stay on the path that you're on. Like.
Especially when you're so, like, to go from wearing a black belt to wearing a white belt.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I admire these people, because these are the people that I say that come into martial arts now, and I try to help them as much as possible. They probably think I'm a weirdo, to be honest. You know what I mean? They're like, why is he helping me so much? Because I can kind of know. It'd be like, imagine someone came around, boys, right? After all the work, you'll know what it feels like because you've done 16 years in karate. But the idea of, imagine someone came along and it was something that just anti-jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
That just undone
jiu-jitsu.
jiu-jitsu.
Like this, and we're like, we're black belts in this.
I need 5 years to get myself together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
never mind for the blue belt.
You know what I mean? But, like, I know I'd change. I know we would go on the idea of it. It's good, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to. It'll never happen.
I think jiu-jitsu is the key.
To me, because here's kind of my story how we kind of got started with jiu-jitsu. The way you was kind of like you had experience it. To me, I could fight. I was an animal when I started jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? And it was only till I experienced. Oh my fucking god! I can't fight. And now I understand. Do you ever see them people that you do see that are so confident outside nightclubs or something, or outside a pub starting to fight? And you're like, Jesus, I'm looking forward to seeing him go. And then he could not swing his car to the left. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you'd be wondering where the fuck he got the confidence from.
Yeah, it's usually the ones that can do least make the most noise, you know?
That's a great idea. That's a great way of saying it, because my mate used to always say, usually the loudest is that, and you'd be like,
but same as loudest in the room and stuff like that.
Loudest in the room, No, but you're bang on.
But like, the dog with the biggest bark. But no, I've seen that so many times, and then when it does come to fruition, he's gone. Absolutely gone. Or his mate will hit someone. They'll make the noise because they'll know that they have more people.
Everyone has that fucking.
That's the danger with some of the. If you train martial arts that isn't in a realistic setting, you have that mentality of yourself that you are fucking invincible, and then the shit hits the fan, and you're freak out because reality doesn't match what's in your head, and it's what the fuck's
and how fast people get adrenaline dumps. Like 1 minute in the street, you'll be absolutely 1 minute, 2 minutes going full in the street, and you will not. But I'd always like to not to be like, oh, I'd like to do that to someone, but I think it would be some kind of experience that if you had something like that. And you know, like after 6 or 7 rounds of jiu-jitsu, when you're really like, you can knock out of MMA or whatever the sport may be, when you're past your second wind, when you're just like absolutely fucked, like, you know what I mean? Like if someone experienced that, they'd have to realise like it's fairly close to feeling to death, I'd imagine, like, or if they didn't, you know, like when you crack it on, like.
And I think what you said there, bang on. It's a very close feeling to death.
It's when you can't get up.
You can't.
When you can't get up. I wonder how they'd feel then when you physically can't get up, like when you're too
no, and that is a mad physical. That's a situation, feeling. Especially when someone's trying to kill you. I've had that feeling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where bottom, he's trying to kill me, and like you're tired. I remember in Canada being on bottom in Mount. And the rep was like, work, and I was wrecked. And I just started swinging from the bottom, right, to keep the fight going. But then the rent, Jimmy, the bell went. See, I was over there. I was like, the rent. Oh yeah, the ref was like, what the fuck's he on about? You know what I mean? But then even getting back to me corner, I was a struggle. But now I'm like, just like, I'm going back out, but I didn't feel like it. But like, I felt like my body was like dying there, you know. And I get to see it a lot with the MMA, where guys come in and they experience what MMA is like. Now it's not that. Most guys think that it's going to be like that. You're saying that they can't fight. It's not that you're saying that. It's saying that the strategy and the stamina for MMA, it has to be that's a skill in itself.
And I know,
like,
all the time we trained, a lot of times we trained you always touched on heart rate more than anyone that I ever heard of.
Yes.
You'd always talk about heart rate, and you'd hear a lot of stuff about that.
And the thing about grappling is I nearly feel someone's heart rate.
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, so when I'm chest to chest, I'm kind of constant to feel.
You know
well, if my heart rate is going all right, and say if yours is all right, well then I'll be cool. But then, like, if you can get the rate of that heart rate with your chest to chest, and you can feel them going crazy, even if you're in solid side control, pop the knee right. Just start throwing on the flame, you know what I mean? And that's when I think mistakes make. When the heart rate really goes up, is when
it's a real good way of putting it.
Mistake. Well, you know, you said when
I never thought next time I'm in side control, I'll just be down
try
here
feel
to the
a heart
chest.
rate, like, with it, you feel someone's chest, especially against the wall if you're wrestling.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't do a lot of that now.
You can feel it. Now that's boys, that's a whole sport. That's like jiu-jitsu with gravity added to it. It's the same principles. Underhook side is king. You have to make sure you try and get past the legs, get in between the legs on the other side, and trips and all remain the same. But it's jiu-jitsu with gravity, because the minute you're not engaged, you fall off the wall.
Yous are good at that. That's
I love that. There's a whole game of that.
Richie and all them.
That's a dog. Like, and the thing is, if you watch a fight, that's where it goes. It really does. There was actually a very good fight the weekend on last weekend, ACB, and Dean Garnett is fighting that guy Wooden. The prospect, you'll see him. But if you get a chance to watch this fight for fence walk, I'm actually going to go over this tonight with my guys, because that's like, it's incredible. It's incredible pressure, underhook, understanding where his head is, and all of that. And it's like jiu-jitsu against the world. Yeah, like you'll get strung out on it like jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? In the same kind of way. Deadly. So the two of you are at the rolling out your hall. You're at the main choke twice, standing at the bus stop talking to us and say, hey, you thought we planned this stuff out before. So how does that change then? Like, how does it get to a fact of where you are now?
SBG, didn't it?
Well, first we went down to Coke Road. Pat was training down there, brought me down, and that just so the fire was lit.
There's a few other people throwing down there.
But the difference between then and now is unbelievable. Like, I remember such a aha moment, like, you know, like an epiphany or whatever. It was 3 months in, I saw an armbar. I was like, oh my god, that's a fucking move.
Yeah, like,
you know,
we don't know what you'd be doing.
That's how
like,
it was. Like, we were just down there squeezing the head off each other,
doing absolute madness. Like, yeah, no, it was, but it was so. I suppose there was a lot of trial by error and stuff as well. Like, you know, you made a lot of mistakes.
Some of the chaps you fought back then, like, they'd be like 130 kilos of muscle and just going down there, just having a fucking scrap.
It was absolute like, Barney. Like, I remember being like, and like, you'd know more than us, of course, like, but it wasn't the way training was now. It was whoever was the best fighter was knocking the other out, and that was the way it was. And you want to be up at the very top of the best, or else you're getting knocked out with training. Like,
that literally was it.
So
way back in the day.
Yeah,
it was a tough way to come
and
through.
Like, there was no like Fairtex pads left, right and centre. It was like someone had a set of boxing gloves. Like, you might have loaded those karate, just the foot guards be around. Hit someone a good kick, you come flying off, keep going.
It's like, keep going.
It was interesting, like, and I know yous were creating what MMA is essentially, like, over the other side, like,
but that was the mad thing what was going on in Dublin at that time, and all sides. Now where we are now, I think is a great thing for. It's not just for clubs, it's for the whole community, I think, of martial arts, you know what I mean? And I think it is very important that,
touching
like,
on the mental health and the young males and the way the economy is and the country was left and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and the thing is, there's a lot of, like, and I'll be the first to say, there's a lot of bitching out there, you know what I mean? And that's, and, you know, use now, I won't even go into it, which is, you know what I mean? Like, because I want to keep it all positive, but there needs to be a lot more of, like, people putting their fucking hands out and shaking each other, and a lot more love, and there's a huge boom for martial arts in now, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, but the idea is that the pie, it's everybody's pie, whether people like it or not.
It's for everyone, absolutely.
That's
everyone.
it.
It's a big pie.
It's a big pie. See, the thing is, physically, if you handed somebody all of the fucking pie, they couldn't eat it all.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Yeah. It's impossible, because you couldn't look after a whole country in your club.
Yeah.
It's impossible, you know what I mean? Because it needs to be broken into little sections.
And the fact that the country's so small, You know, that's the crazy. It's the fact
And that's why I
the
think
country's
we
so
need to train a lot more together as well. Look, I know for the fact that I've had you guys over, and I know Joey opens up Joey Breslin is the bleeding.
The doors open
You
always.
know what I mean?
Joey,
He's the Mother Teresa of jiu-jitsu. Do you know what I'm saying in a way?
That's
That's a good way.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Joey's been around, you know. Joey's been around.
100%, an absolute legend of a guy, and an encyclopedia when it comes to jiu-jitsu. I think me and his styles link really well here because structurally I'd have like wrestling kind of MMA jiu-jitsu, and then he has like where you put the skin on it, the grips and the everything else that comes into it. And it's a great the guys that we have here now, I think
they're savage.
Yeah, and
there's lads that are coming through. Yeah, the gang we seen over at Naga, they're all doing their game and doing really good, man.
They're good people as well. Like, it's not just good martial artists. I'm about making good people as well. You know what I mean? Because we all have an effect in the community that we all live in. Like same age as ourselves. You got two boys. You just came up and did it right. So what was the degree that you did in?
Well, I was
in business.
I was on that track. I was just doing academic stuff, you know. So that before I found jiu-jitsu, once I found jiu-jitsu, it just became more and more where I wanted more and more of this, and then I just turned my back on that lifestyle. Basically, I just got the fuck out of the office. I
walked out one day, saved and walked. Yeah, a lot of lads have done it.
And that's admirable. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people out there that say to me that they come to 30 and like we get loads of messages of all different parts, especially since the podcast. People are just asking for advice, and it's a nice little thing because you realise shit, maybe you can give someone advice and you can get people on that they need to hear and talk to. That's a great example.
Yeah, I was working in the office for
State
3
Street.
years. Yeah,
doing a lot of money, a lot of numbers. Like it's not like you had to walk.
Yeah, like I was overlooking.
I've heard that as well because
I'd be valuing. I think it was like between 10 and 15 billion a day. Like that's what you're overseeing. Like and putting the value on it.
That's pressure.
And like
you could have robbed him and left all this jiu-jitsu stuff
you don't
back.
have access to money.
Could have kidnapped you.
Some of the it'd only be on the computer screen. It wouldn't be physical. You know?
Yeah, you'd be like, it was so threatening. Run again. Flashbacks.
Quality.
Yeah,
and you'd be looking at that like big money.
Yeah. Well, you'd just be valuing it, but like, and fair play to anyone that enjoys doing that sort of stuff. But I fucking hated it.
Valuing someone else's money.
I was coming up to the 3-year like anniversary of starting working there, and I was like, if I go another couple of days here, that could be it. Like, you know, like it got fairly rough because like
a lot of people feel like that. I used to feel like that as well. But then it comes to Friday and it's grand.
It wasn't grand on Friday. It wasn't grand Andy Day.
But see, the thing is, people try to let off on the Friday, but that happens on the Friday, and then you end up in this big, mad, constant session. That
and then Sunday night, and then you're in a banger Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then
that's it exactly, man. Because I hated my job, so at night time I drink like to feel alright because I wasn't training because I was injured.
Then
back in the next day, and it gets worse, and it gets worse, and it gets worse. And it got to the stage where like I'd be waiting for my train in the morning, and the direct one went past before that, and it was going bombing it, and you'd be thinking, maybe I just get in front of that.
One day I just
that day I was like, I'm not doing.
Do you know, that's fairly fucking brave to even say that, because you know what, I could imagine the amount of people that are in that situation as well. Do you know
that, John? People that do it, man.
Like, and you know what I feel like what happens there is that it's like a Hoover in a way. And this was something that my uncle said to me when I left school. He said to me, don't set a life up on a wage that you don't want to sustain.
Yeah.
And I was like, I totally understand what he gets straight away.
Yeah.
Like,
that's because in saying that, like, I was getting paid good. Like, I was getting paid like 600 quid a week, but like, you didn't have much money. Because you'd spend on the weekend, like you get to Friday, you blow it all just to feel a bit better.
Just to feel a bit better.
Try to feel a bit
better.
Saving
for the holiday, you know. If you're getting $650 a week and you're saving $250 for a big huge holiday, you're and then that's just your one blowout on the year. You're essentially broke.
Your lunch and your travel and your.
And like so many people are so happy to just finance, you know. Like, I have a nice car, nice phone, and I get 2 or 3 holidays a year, but I'm paying it off for the rest of the year. Like, that's not a way of life either. Like, it's enough having to have a job. You shouldn't have to be a worker for all these other different companies, you know.
No, and the thing is, and the bank will try to make you this person as well. I went to the bank for a mortgage, and your woman said to me, "It's not looking good." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You've never had credit." I'm like, we've never owed you any money, so that makes me not look good. I'm like, that makes me look great if you ask me. I've never had to ask you motherfuckers for nothing.
And the recession's coming well and truly over, but I seen an ad on AIB yesterday, and on the telly on AIB yesterday, or probably shouldn't, on a bank, a local bank.
Say what you fucking want, the thing's got no shame.
Fair, yeah.
We'll get down and pick on that door, we will, if it's bad. Tell us the news.
And it's just... Tell us the news now, but I just thought, because obviously we're so into the like kids martial arts and like everything to do with that, but just there was a woman coming in, there was 3 kids with her and she had her eyes covered, and I was like, oh, I wonder what that is, you know. And she was like, don't peek, don't think, 1, 2, 3, look. And it was 3 kids in the backyard, and they're after getting a playhouse, you know. And they were like, oh, best day ever. And then it just came up, loans for €1,000 approved within 3 hours. I was like, for fuck's sake, like, can't it's just so bad, like, you know. But the amount of people that are doing those things to create that little bit of joy for their 2 or 3 kids for the day or the weekend, and just sweating over the £1,000 then after, you know. So it's a strange how world we're in. Like,
definitely. So I'd say that, like, since Conor hasn't been fighting in Vegas last little while, the credit unions as well are
gone
fucking
quiet.
panicking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
credit unions gone quiet.
I haven't got it, but I totally know what you mean. Like, people put themselves in the debt, and man, as I said, like, that's fucking brave. They've kind of because people that I've said I've thought about things. Like, I've thought about death. I've thought about suicide, but I've thought about it in a way of
understanding.
I'm trying to understand it. I've never been in a situation in my life, and I'm just like, I find I'm just like, I'm a tough little motherfucker when it comes to stuff like that. Like, when I get down, it's kind of like a power, like a fucking stone in my chest kind of grows, and I get more.
And everyone faces that differently. That stone in the chest, isn't it?
It's such a weird thing though, because when you look back at it, it's like, that's so ridiculous to look back on, because you feel so trapped. Everything just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and then you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then when you get to a good place, it's like, it's so unbelievable to
you'd almost laugh at you.
Yeah, you'd be like, what was the problem there? Like, all you have to do is quit the job. But it's so difficult at the time to change your life. Like,
definitely.
And then once you do, you get past that tipping point, and it's so easy.
But isn't that moment where people say that, like, suicide is a solution for a temporary problem? You know what I mean? Is that right?
Yeah, that'd be right. Yeah, that it's not.
But it'd be the same example of that week. Look, because we know people that we've lost through suicide that would, I know for a fact, if they looked back now, they'd probably be in a better place, and they'd probably be saying same thing you were saying there.
Because sometimes people get into such a rut, like they owe a few £100. Like, we have a friend that owed a few £100, and that was
literally a few £100.
And but the thing is, it's the pride attached thing to that as well, isn't it? And the idea of being behind, and what you were saying there is, we won't go on too much on it, but the idea of connecting yourself to a mortgage, connecting yourself to a job, to a car, to a girlfriend, to all of this stuff that mostly now that wage is now radiating and growing that plant, and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. But you can't withdraw. There's no withdrawal because you're stuck into all of these finances, and you don't want to give your car back because all of a sudden that they eat your pride. And we always say to people, like, don't afford shit that you don't need. Don't try to go broke looking rich.
Like, I know that when we started teaching in the local school, St. Monctus NS, like, we were teaching the...
So you start training jiu-jitsu, then you start teaching. So
we started training, and then John was training. I was still concentrating a lot on the MMA till I got MMA in my last, or till I got MMA. Till I got UFC.
You got knocked out. I got MMA.
Yeah.
I'm only messing. I got MMA.
I got UFC.
In the face.
I got armbarred. What I got was 2 things. I got an adrenaline dump, which I didn't think was a thing that happened. I thought that was for people that didn't train hard enough. And then I went and got armbarred, and it was surreal. It was literally, and I'll never forget, coming into the 3rd round, I was like, I have to finish. I have one good hurrah left in me, and I lined up a jab, flying knee, and next thing he went down, I was like, this is it. And I started Homer Simpson him, you know. I was like, boy, and next thing he just swung up an armbar, and I was hitting him, and the ref, like, all I had to do, I think even Deck
step away.
All I had to do was hit him a couple more times, and maybe if I step away, it wasn't that hard. If I stepped away, he probably would have stood.
Right.
But I did not have the power. It was literally like, you know, the fly lands on the pad,
kind of squeeze it,
and he swung up an armbar. I could see it was like happening in slow motion. It wasn't even a good technical armbar. I could see it happening. No, stop, bang, finished. And then after that was jits. And then once you start training loads of jitsu, kind of got hard to get back into the striking. Or like, we were going down, I'd go into SVG a little bit with John, and then John was going to East Coast a lot, so we were going there and training, and then we ended up just going there a lot and training, because it was just jiu-jitsu all the time. And then but
that can happen. We've found out, like, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys, because I even think, like, even a lot of the top level coaches in the country that would be jiu-jitsu guys as well will have tried their hand in MMA.
And a lot of them will go into, like, I know, like, there's a couple of lads that we train on, they'd have never fought MMA, but they'd like to fight MMA now to try it out, you know.
It's definitely an experience. Now, I think if you're going to do it, make sure that you do it with somebody that kind of can tell you, listen, this is not going to feel like what... You know the way you can explain a jiu-jitsu match to somebody? I think it's very important. Like, where it's like, and all of that's in your head, but it's not going to go like that.
Well, have you ever felt an elbow?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's probably going to be you in guard, and you get a pass, and then you get pushed back, and then you got 2 points, and then that's it. Where in your head, you're like, I pass his guard, and then I'm a side control. Do you got it?
The crowd's going to go mental. And then you can't even get an advantage.
I know, But that's the same way as MMA. We find that if you're going to do it with somebody that can explain to you, and especially if you're forced one, because it's like, it's like busting your cherry if you must, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
an experience.
Yeah.
And you will definitely
An
remember it
emotional
for the rest of
experience.
your life. Oh yeah, look, I'm fortunate I get to do it.
How many fights did you have in
do it with a
total?
lot of guys, I was going to say. I was like, I've been doing it with a good few guys now the last little while because it's the new team, new kind of breakthrough, and it's great, you know what I mean? Because you see the nervous guys, you see the guys that are not nervous.
And you're like,
yeah, and, and then you see the guys that, like, I know that are just having an experience in life by just fighting once. And some people just need to do that because they've got demons and they get rid of it, and all of a sudden they realise that ego is not, it's not eating them anymore, you know what I mean?
As a process, yeah.
And it's a great little thing.
How many fights did you have, amateur and pro, together, like?
I think I had
Sanctioned,
I think it's
Paddy,
7.
sanctioned.
Oh, yeah, like 3 in the square. 2 down, boy. I had I think it's 17 pro fights with the Ultimate Fighter.
Did you really?
And then amateur was just 100 fucking rows on a mat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it would have been the
17
MMA
pros
league
even,
back in the day.
I didn't realise that's a serious
No,
amount of
was it 17? 16.
16,
16. The draw at the Ultimate Fighter fight. And so 16 fights or something like that. Not that much though, to be honest with
That's
it.
serious to have under, you know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of boys. 2 losses, which is fucking, you know what I mean? It's alright. I got in there against a few lads and I had a few knocks. And I just fucking loved the part, and that was it. Like, to be honest, I never really, not that I never seen myself winning a belt or anything like that, but I just knew if you put me in there and you put me with the idea of I want the belt, there's a good chance I could have winning it there. Like, it was just like, you know, like, she pulled it out of the bag, I would have been that little fucker. I had the skills at that time or the preparation, but I just wouldn't have did it at that time, you know what I mean? But
there's a lot to be said for people like that. Like, when you come across lads that are slick and this, and then some lad comes in that's played GA, he's played GA.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not giving up, and that's it. And like, we've a couple of lads, like, and I didn't know this, but we've a couple of lads in the gym and they're guards, you know, and I didn't know they were guards. Really? Oh my God. And you're like trying to, like, especially in the no-gi, you know, like, you're double legging them and there's no, and then, like, you're not going down, and next thing it's an absolute barn burn, you're like, this chap's like, and then it turns out and he's like, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, he's like, thanks me, because I would have went home and not known that. I've had that with guys, I've stuck them in, like, God, you can jump into your friends' things, and they've been taking lads down and all. Did you ever done that? No?
Nothing.
That's why we say, going flying back really quick to the stick fighting in Ireland. Just put them into fucking hurling, you know what I mean? They're swinging sticks, they're learning scores, balls, community, everything. You know what I mean? And if you ever piss off a guy head, I guarantee you there will be a hurl produced. You'll be getting a bang of it. Do you want the sharp side or the soft side? We own up as man the guy now as well. He's played actually a mini league World Cup thing and all this week. So last night he scored a goal and a point. And I was trying to say to him, there's no money in it, mate. Not in a bad way, but like,
it's mad one, isn't it?
I'm not funding this shit, you know what I mean?
And that has a good backlash on Irish sports. That's why everyone wants sports for free in Ireland, you know, because the guy is essentially free from, and it's the most predominant sport from such a young age. Like, touched on that a lot in the degree, like, because, like, Irish, like, especially in martial arts, like, if they're going to play soccer, they'll need football boots that are €85, they need shin guards that are 45, they'll need their best team's kit a lot of the time, which is probably 70 quid, water bottle, just to get them down to training. They come down to jiu-jitsu, it's like, we'll buy the suit if he's staying. Do you know, it's like, he needs a suit for the class, you know, like, and we'll offer suits and this and that, but the amount of parents and stuff that'll just be like, because it's martial arts and just should be, I don't know, hereditally free, so
it should be in a hall, and it should be like a $5 class. But the thing is, it's like anything, it's the quality of, like, I know for the fact that, like, as I said, the number, keeping your eye on your number is very important, I think, in my experience, because having a personal encounter with most of the people that you train, I think, is important. You know what I mean? Now, saying that, like, I'm not the worst at remembering names, but I know someone's style, I know someone's skill, I know something that they don't, I'm watching, you know what I mean?
There's only a certain amount of names you can remember, isn't
That's it, you know?
There's, I think it's 150 or something.
Another mad thing as well, do you know, I got a birthday card for me 30th, and if you were alive, if you were 30 years alive, you've been alive for 10,987 days. Isn't that mad, isn't it?
That's a lot of days.
If you do jiu-jitsu once an hour a day for them, you'd only have your 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
And it take you 30 years. You know, people going about that 10,000 hours thing, how long would it take? It take you 30 years, 1 hour a day, every single fucking day. Sometimes you do 8 a day though. I don't know how
you do 8 a day.
8 a day. So you've gone through This is your tour club now, but this is the big one. And what was it? You were
So
sharing a mat down in the barbell gym, wasn't it?
We were doing Thursdays. The kids in St. Mark's on Thursdays, and we used to have to bring the mats down in John Starla and my Civic. Civic at the time, ripped them all in. It was the worst. You know what a car park, just buses beeping, like, get out of me way. You'd be like, and because you're doing the class, you're like, oh hey, how's everyone going? Sweating, just sweating. You're like, if this was any other setting, like I'd absolutely flip it. You're like, how's it going? It's so hard, like road-related behaviour. It's so hard to keep maintaining. Like,
I was doing it when I left the other gym I was managing. I was doing it in the leisure centre. Myself putting the mats down now. And that's fucking stressful.
And then whatever way it worked out, the rent of the hall, the kids we had, and the insurance policy that we were working with, it cost £3 a kid per class. They were paying £5 or whatever, but we'd have 15 or 16 kids. It was costing about 35, 36 quid a class. We were like,
for us, like, we had to pay to teach.
We had to pay to teach, even though they were paying after the overheads. We were paying to teach. Like, is this a good business model? Is this how it works? Like, but we didn't even think about it at the time. And the savage thing is, like, it's our 5-year anniversary just at the start of the month. And like, out of those 15 kids, we still have probably 13 of them training in Satori, and they're some of our best kids.
Man,
you know,
some kids joined me in that centre. After I was in like a big fancy gym, and then the idea of. And I was like, fuck, I love this. This is going back to the community. This is back to the core of it. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. Now, apart from putting the fucking mats down.
And then Animal Barbell Gym is in Kilmore Industrial Estate where we are, and it's about 4,500 square foot. So we had 4 proper areas. It was good. We kept like adding to, and Voidus, the guy that owns the gym, his son is one of our best guys as well. Trains with us. Like,
Really, I think I know that over like.
Yeah, Nikita, nice kid.
Is he a yellow belt? Is he?
No, he's a grey belt, and he'd be going. He's training. About 2.5 years now, and going good, like, so we only have one yellow belt, Isabella, or Millie, that we gave our yellow belt to. And,
how long is she training?
Millie's trained about 3 years now, is she? About 3.5 years.
What weight is she?
Don't know. Don't even know the kids' weights.
No, the kids' weights.
Especially when
it's mad, isn't it? Though, like, you can, like, I've got a little girl that's like only had to get a yellow belt as well, and she's just very good.
The kids are good. But we were renting the mats on Tuesday and a Saturday, wasn't it? Was the start?
Our starting hours was Tuesday 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. and Saturday 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So that was our whole schedule.
Open the gym with that, and the rest of the time we were just training, you know. And then we always had our eye on this facility, like, and we've made 3 or 4 pitches for it, like, but we were always trying to like line it up, and it was always like way over, no chance. So, but reassuring enough as well when we finally got that, because John met for the building, and then it was another 6 months, and then I met for the building, and then it was like another 6 months, and there was loads of ins and outs, and then the building was taken, and there was another spot going into it, and then and we were just chipping away. But when we were actually paying off or going towards the deposit of the gym, we had a lot of fivers from the St. Mark's classes, you know, still in envelopes. So like,
pillowcases full of fivers.
Like, almost like, but no, so we got that facility, like, we were blessed to get it, like, for, and it's 8,500 square
foot. That's the one that you're in now.
The one that we're in now.
It's a lovely gym. I think, and you need to be doing it like this now, boys, don't you?
We were always trying. We always threw everything into it. Like, even when we were doing the kids in St. Mark's, we threw everything into it. So I actually had an apartment down in Blanche Village with my partner, and I'm back in my Maz now. You know, I'm 28 next week when we're going to America on Sunday for the World Championships, and our birthdays always fall on the World Championships. But I'm 28 now. I'm back in the Maz, but like, I'm happy to be back in the Maz because we're doing the right thing, like, you know, and it's gonna come good.
Leaving.
Like, mistake was leaving.
That's where good recheck on that mistake.
So and it's nice now as well, because for so long we were travelling to East Coast and to SBG, but the gym is 5 minutes from the parents, and the college where I was doing the degree in the sports coaching was 5 minutes from, so it was literally a triangle of 5 minutes, you know. It was like, this is actually doable for once, like, so. And the main thing I think that's important as well, is setting yourself up like that. If you want to, you know, if you spend 2 hours, 2.5 hours in a car a day, put that across a month, put it across a year, put it across 5 years. It goes back into this life that we're talking about with the start there, like, where you're not happy and you're not functioning, you're spending your life. Like, time's expensive, you know. And the idea is that the 2 years are lads in his own community, which is a good thing. So it sounds like that it's like an oak tree, you know what I mean? And like the amount, like everyone that comes through, like the amount of people that you would have been in school, or everyone knows everyone. This is what I mean. It is a turn, and a lot of places in Blanchetown now, like just ones in Hartstown, Hunstown, are probably the same in Tallaght, but they're putting in youth clubs in the community centres. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, if you're 14 to 18 or whatever, you can go there. There's PlayStation, stuff like that. And I was thinking, man, that's probably what we'll have to start driving towards, being an actual youth community centre then on the weekends, because they're all coming training all the time, all the time. And then you don't want them going off doing whatever Friday, Saturday. They want to stay focused, you know. So if you can just open the doors, and that's what we're saying. We're saying in the build up to the summer now, there's 5 weeks left to the kids are finished, and we're like, now fortnight for the summer, like the gym doors being open at 9 or 10 in the morning, you know, you should be down here, you can do whatever you want all day, then go home, get the train home, because just kids and sitting and it's just mad. Parents are giving out so much about PlayStations now, and then they just let them play it. Like, it's like the solution's simple.
I'm a guilty one with that as well, because my own young fella, my own young fella plays that fucking Fortnite.
And don't get me wrong, I play the PlayStation myself every now and again. It's good crack,
but I don't play online or anything.
No.
I'm just not able for all the, like, my young fella does be having a pure rev. Yesterday I heard him like, give me that ammo! I want that! He's freaking out in his room over a box of ammo. You don't play GAN a little bit with you. Chill out, I'm saying to him, like, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm going. And then his mate's going, what do you mean you're just going?
Yeah, that's another one. Because what the mates are doing. And
they sly each other and all. They rob each other's guns and stuff like that. And they rob each other. They rip each other off. They're like, you drop that gun there. And they drop it. They collect it. And they shoot them and they run on. Like, I'm like, mate, I said to me over there, you need to get a notepad and start writing down on these snakes. Because guess what? I guarantee you them young snakes will just be old snakes. I said, the only difference that will be revealing them will be money. Now it's guns on a computer game, you know what I mean? That's how it goes down. But boys, I have to say, it's been a pleasure to have you in here. Right, we flew through this, and he's a running the Jiu-Jitsu Kids League now as well.
The next one's when we come back from America. The 10th is the round 5, and then at the end of July is the Open, so that's like non-experience, a proper tournament, like, and we're going to get belts and stuff out for the kids, the winners of that. So
that's the end of it, isn't it? That's the end of the league.
And that's the end of the first league. So a lot of trial and error. Like, no one's ever done a league like that before.
No, and the thing I like about that is that, you know, and a lot of the parents love about it as well, is the idea, especially because you have like kind of like the grassroots kind of way of it, and everybody gets a medal.
Compare medals, like, and
they're good medals as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's not to be like, oh, you're all champions, this, that, and the other. It can be determined from fun games and anything in between when you get to 16. You look at children's psychology and start looking at when to compete.
And you have done this. You've done the psychology.
That's why we've done the degree, like, and so the degree I went on, the sports coach and business management, like, and that literally, like, was so in depth for the kids, like, and all our coaches are on that degree now. Like, the lads were coming there like, I don't want to work, I don't want to. I was like, well, you're not just doing jiu-jitsu and nothing, like, so get into education, do this, and the education's key. Like, I know, and I used to be so against that, like, you know what I mean, like, I got 70 points in my leaving, so I had to go the long way to this degree. Like, education makes, and you need to be a smart fighter, like, you know.
That's me. I need the guys that are training now. It's like, listen, you get one chance to get this, and you better treat it like a competition. Treat your leaving like a competition.
Right. And all you have to do is a little bit. If you pay attention skill and a small bit of homework, you'll get good marks. All you have to do is the process.
If I got through it, you'll definitely get through it, and that's the way it is, you know. That's what I'd be saying to them, like,
and then you can do what you want. The world's your oyster, you know what I mean? You can essentially do what you want, especially the year with Facebook and the internet. It's the time of the entrepreneur. Like, people can just do what they want.
You really can. You can reach anywhere in the world now, and even loads of the people that we have on here, like that, some of the stuff that they do and get into, like, it's crazy. And what people are ambitious about, you know what I mean?
15-year-olds with businesses and stuff now. Like.
Man, and you're bang on there what you're saying, and that's
Max Lally's doing privates.
Max Lally's doing privates. You know what I mean? Max Lally's another, like, he's another savage little kid.
The effort that kid did, and his effort his dad does.
His dad as well. His dad's a funny bastard, isn't he?
He's a great guy, great family.
Yeah, great family. Like, down to his ma, his dad, all of them. The Lallies. Giving them a shout out.
Yeah.
Alright, Lallies.
Shout out.
Yeah, alright. Boys, I'll leave you at that.
Thanks,
it's an absolute pleasure to have you there, man.
Thanks for having us, Paddy.
Lions in their own community. Episode 27, wasn't we? 27, Robin? Yeah, we don't have a Robin roundup this week. But we don't have Shane either. He's sacked again. But it was great having a conversation with you. Catch us on the other side.
Thanks a million.